Yo, what is up boys? My name is Swagger Mike. I'm a 5k PR player in Division 1, and in this video I'm gonna break down a couple of mental traps that will keep you stuck in Fortnite competitive and will hold you back from improving. If you clicked on this video, you probably care a lot about Fortnite competitive, and if you want to see yourself improve, then you can't be falling for these traps. So let's just begin with trap number 1. Okay, so the first trap you can fall for is trying to prove yourself. This is a very common problem for Fortnite competitive players because their parents most likely disagree with their pursuit of trying to go pro. Your parents are probably not that supportive. They don't really like that you play video games for 10 hours a day. Because why would they? They see video games as a waste of time, and you try to convince them like, no, I'm really serious about this game. You know, I'm not just a casual player. I'm actually trying to go pro in this game. But then they look at the odds and they're like, what are the chances of him going pro in this game? It's like 0.1%. So do we really believe in him? Probably not. So your parents don't believe in you. And if your parents don't believe in you, that could be pretty painful, you know? And so you can have this internal dialogue of like, yeah, I need to prove myself. I need to prove myself to my parents that I can do this. And now instead of playing the game because you genuinely want to, because you want to improve and you want to be good at something, instead of doing that, you're just trying to prove yourself to your parents. And it's a completely different motivation. And it's a very exhausting mental trap. Because every time you lose a tournament, it's like another confirmation that maybe you cannot do this and maybe your parents were right about you. I think most pro players, they didn't really have this internal dialogue. They were just playing to improve and they liked improving and they didn't really feel forced to. They didn't feel forced and tried to, prove to their parents that they could do this or something. I think most pro players, they don't really fall for these mental traps, but you probably do, and you have to identify them and break them. The second mental trap is focusing on short-term placements over long-term improvements. I think most players will fall for this at some point. They really care about one single tournament, and if they lose that tournament, it feels like everything is wrong. Like, let's say you want to qualify for the next division or something. Then you might want to place a lot of importance on this one single event. And if you don't qualify, then you feel really bad about yourself. And if you do qualify, you feel really great. Like, it basically feels like it's life or death. Like, if you win this tournament, you're alive. And if you lose the tournament, it's basically like death. And you get full depressed or something. So you really care about these short-term results, all of these short-term placements. But you really need to let go of this. Because if you lose this one tournament, realistically, nothing really happens. Like, there's nothing gonna change in your life if you lose one tournament. You're probably gonna lose a lot of tournaments, not gonna lie. Especially if you're still trying to improve in the game, you know? Like, you're gonna play so many tournaments, and all you really have to do is just play a tournament and learn from it. You know, like, go in VOD reviews, VOD review with me, whatever, and learn from your mistakes. And if you learn from your mistakes, you improve, and that's what Fortnite competitive is all about. You need to improve your skills and your game sense as well. Losing tournaments is actually one of the fastest ways to improve. Like, if you're constantly winning, you're not really learning, and so you're not really improving. Losing might hurt, but only in the short term. Like, you can lose all of these tournaments, but you should really just not care about it at all. Because all of those tournaments, they're just practice, just like scrims. If you lose a scrim, you don't really care that much, you know? Oh, you just lost a scrim, whatever. You play another scrim, and another, and another. And eventually you just get better and better and better. If I were you, I'd really avoid placing too much importance on one single event, or a couple of events. Just forget about these events. Like, if you lose a couple of tournaments, it's fine, nothing happens. Just move on to the next tournament and improve in the long term. The third mental trap is focusing on money. Like, of course, if you become a pro player in this game, you could earn a lot of money, right? But for most players, the reality is that they are not earning for like a couple of years, and then maybe they make some earnings, and then maybe they make a lot more, you know? But if the amount of money you make in this game is your only motivation, then you can get quickly demotivated because you're not gonna earn money in, your first 50 tournaments or something. And then every time you don't make money, you're like, I didn't make money again. It's a mental trap. It's kind of like mental trap number 2, where you place too much importance on one event. If I don't earn in the solo victory cup now, then, it's the end of the world. That's only going to make you feel a lot worse for losing every single time. And you're gonna lose a lot of tournaments, like before you start winning. I think one of the biggest motivators you should have for improving in this game is either the love for improvement, or maybe the love for just mastering something, just becoming the best at something, mastering a skill, becoming the best fighter that you can be, or becoming the best IGL that you can be, or just mastering playing for height, or 50-50 rotates, whatever. Like, just improving specific skills and mastering them. I think that should be your main form of motivation. Now, the next mental trap is comparison. And I think there could be some sort of healthy comparison that you have, like maybe some friend of yours, he's better at you than fighting, some other kid is higher PR, whatever. And you can maybe compare yourself to him and maybe like try to, like compete with him a little bit. But Fortnite competitive, it's really not like you versus another player. It's you against you. Like you are the one stopping you from achieving this goal. Like you are the reason why you're unfocused, why you spend all of your time on social media, watching YouTube videos, just like this I guess. Why you don't play Kovacs, why you don't buy better equipment, why you don't play scrims, why you don't play tokens. You are the one holding you back in this game. And if you quit this game eventually, you are gonna be the one that is making that decision. You are gonna be the one that's like, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard, it's too difficult, or whatever. This game really is you against you. Like maybe you have some friends and you see them skyrocket their PR and you're like, maybe you're getting jealous or something. That's just the comparison trap. If you get jealous at any point, like, yeah, you've fallen for the mental trap of comparison. And you need to get yourself out of it. Like, if someone else succeeds in this game, if someone else is like underperforming compared to you, it doesn't really, change anything about your situation. So there really isn't any point to comparing yourself to others. If someone outperforms you in a tournament, or someone outperforms you in Kovacs, has a better score, has higher PR, it's not the end of the world. I know I keep saying it's not the end of the world, but that's really how you break these mental traps. You lower the importance of what you're trying to achieve, kind of. So in the first example of trying to prove yourself to others, if someone disapproves of you, if your parents don't really believe in you, it might be painful, but there's not something you can really do about it. Your instinct is to do something about it. I'll prove to them that they are wrong and that you are going pro in this game. That's your natural instinct to fight it. And you care so much about their approval and their support and them believing in you that you try to fight for it, That's really the wrong way you should go about it. Like the best way you can go about it is just lower the importance. If they don't believe in you, say, whatever, I'm gonna play anyways. And I don't care about their approval, but I'm just gonna play because I like improving in this game and I believe I can do it. So you basically say it doesn't matter what they think. And you lower the importance of their opinion. And the same goes for the importance of money. If you don't care about money anymore, you don't enter the mental trap of trying to make money from this game, because money is not a stable form of motivation. If you care too much about short-term results, lower the importance. Say to yourself, this short-term placement doesn't matter. If I lose this tournament, if I lose the next 10 tournaments, it doesn't matter. Nothing really changes. I'm not saying you don't want to win tournaments. I'm not saying you don't want to make money. I'm not saying you don't want the support and approval of other people. I'm just saying if you care too much about it, then you become dependent on it and then you enter the mental trap. I should probably explain why these mental traps are so deadly. So here's an example. You play a tournament and your mental trap is trying to prove yourself to others. Now when you play this tournament, there's an extra form of pressure. Because if you don't win this tournament, then maybe your parents were right about you. And then you feel really bad about yourself. You're like, oh no, I didn't earn their approval. And because you put so much pressure on yourself, it's very easy for you to start getting nervous or start choking when you don't really need to. Like you're gonna lose games that you didn't need to lose. Like you're just gonna perform worse. Like there is a better explanation, but it's quite difficult to understand. Let's say you operate under the frame of trying to prove yourself to your parents. Then there's a part of you that believes, okay, I don't get support from my parents. And this version of you got hurt, right? He got pain. He experienced some sort of pain. But this version of yourself is stored somewhere deep inside your brain. Now this version of yourself is trying to earn the approval of other people, right? But at the same time, it believes that it doesn't get the approval from other people because that's what he experienced, right? And so when you start to achieve something that is contradicting this inner experience, then this version of yourself, it feels like it's going extinct. It feels like it's gonna die. So in theory, it wants to get validation and approval from other people, but it doesn't feel that validation and approval. And so in order to survive, it has to make sure that you don't get the good placement. Because if you get a good placement in your tournament, then you feel like, oh, maybe I can get some approval, I can get some support from my parents, But that's not really how he sees the world, and so he will fight against it. It's a very big topic. I almost deleted it from this video, but I hope you understand that these mental traps, they will keep you stuck. They will fight against you and everything you want and everything you work for. They will basically just hold you back from anything you try to achieve. So if you're trying to achieve success in this game and you fall for one of these mental traps, they are going to sabotage you. They're going to self-sabotage. Like if you ever lose a tournament that you know you could be winning, it's very likely that you are falling for some sort of mental trap. I see it all of the time. People that are about to qualify for a tournament, and then there's something in their brain that just makes them choke. And then I'm always like, yeah, I see, that's a mental trap right there. He doesn't have to die in the situation, but he's dying because his brain is just malfunctioning. His brain is working against him. You need your brain to work for you, not against you. Because once again, Fortnite competitive, it's you against you. Like there's nobody else trying to prevent you from going pro in this game. It's really you against you, and if you are not on the same team of yourself, then you know, like you're gonna lose. I hope I gave you something to think about. Now as always, keep grinding boys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.